All right, let's get into it. Zillow just rolled out a new feature, and it's supposed to be a fix for a pretty big problem in real estate. But the real question is it actually fixing anything, or is it just creating a whole new kind of problem? That's what we're going to break down right now. So, when you're house hunting, you probably assume you're seeing everything that's out there, right? It seems like a simple enough question, but believe me, the answer is getting more and more complicated. Because the hard truth is, you might be missing out on your dream home. More and more listings are actually being kept away from the open market. Now, Zillow says they've got the solution. But as we're about to see, that solution might just be another piece in a much bigger, much messier puzzle. To really get what's going on, we first have to talk about the state of the market today and this whole idea of a hidden market for houses. You know, the promise of real estate has always been the multiple listing service, the MLS. Think of it like one big public library, where every single home for sale is on the shelf for everyone to see. But the reality? For a while now, brokerages have been creating their own kind of private members-only clubs, showing new listings just to their own agents and clients first. This splits the market up, and suddenly it's not about what's available, it's about who you know. So you've got this tension brewing between the open market ideal and these private networks. And right into the middle of it all, Zillow drops their new feature. And hey, on the surface, this sounds amazing, right? The idea is to rescue those hidden listings from the private clubs and put them out on Zillow for everyone to see, even before they hit the main MLS. It's pitched as a huge win for transparency. But here's the big but. This is where we have to stop and ask the really critical question. Does this feature actually fix the problem of a fractured market, or are we just swapping one problem for another? I mean, think about it. If a home is listed for sale on Zillow, but it's not on the MLS yet, is it really on the open market? Is that what we truly mean by transparency? And this brings us to a brand new term we need to understand: platform-gated visibility. It's a fancy phrase for a simple idea. Instead of a listing being locked away in a broker's physical filing cabinet, it's now stuck behind a digital wall. You can see it, but only if you're looking on Zillow. And this just nails the shift perfectly. We haven't gotten rid of the fragmentation, we've just moved it around. The gatekeeper used to be the local brokerage. Now, it's the giant tech portal. If you happen to be a buyer who prefers another website, well, you might never even know that house exists until it's way too late. So let's talk about the people stuck right in the middle of this mess, the real estate agents, because for them, this is a whole new category of headache. I mean, look at this. All of a sudden, an agent's to-do list just exploded. It's not just list the home on the MLS anymore. Now it's, okay, do I post on Zillow Preview? Oh wait, Realtor.com and Homes.com are going to cook up their own versions too. Each one could have its own set of rules, creating a nightmare of different workflows for just one house. And here's the kicker. All this extra work, all this strategic gymnastics, it has to happen in an unbelievably tight time frame. And it's all because of one very powerful rule called Clear Cooperation. This is the #1 business day. The National Association of Realtors policy is crystal clear. The moment a property is marketed to the public anywhere, it has to be on the MLS within 1 business day. That is not a lot of wiggle room. So this creates massive new risks for agents. The second they post on Zillow Preview, a public clock starts ticking. There's a timestamp, there's no more gray area. A simple delay, a small mistake in getting that listing onto the MLS could now lead to serious fines or penalties. The margin for error has pretty much evaporated. Okay, so it's complicated for agents for sure, but what about the most important person in the whole transaction, the homeowner who's just trying to sell their house? This is where things can get really confusing. A seller sees their house on Zillow, which is huge, and they naturally think, great, my home is on the market. But the reality is, it's not fully. It's only visible to Zillow's audience. That's just a slice of the pie, not the whole thing. And that is the real danger here. This new marketing middle ground feels like the real deal, but it isn't. And that gap between partial exposure and full exposure can have a very real impact on the number of buyers, the competition, and ultimately, the final sale price. So let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the future of how we buy and sell homes? Because here's the thing to remember. This Zillow feature isn't really the cause of all this chaos. It's a symptom of a much, much larger battle for control that's happening just beneath the surface of the real estate industry. And this slide really sums it up. It's like a three-way tug of war.
You've got brokerages fighting to control their own listings for their own advantage. You've got the giant tech portals like Zillow fighting to control what you see so they can control the leads. And who's caught in the middle getting pulled in every direction? The agents, trying to do right by their clients.
Which leaves us all with this one fundamental question. As every major platform inevitably builds its own pre-market world, we have to ask, is all this technology and corporate maneuvering actually making real estate more open and accessible for everyone? Or are we just building a more complicated, more confusing, and more fragmented market for all of us to get lost in?